This episode is sponsored by the Slang Self-Doubt Prayer Journal. Over the past 4 years, I have had the opportunity to help over 30 women identify, accept, and take action in the parts of their lives where they feel stuck. My heart's desire is to do that with every woman I come in contact with, but the truth is that's not realistic. So instead, I created a prayer journal that goes through that same journey. The Slang Self-Doubt Prayer Journal is designed for you to dig deep and answer questions that will pull out where you are stuck on your journey. The Slang Self-Doubt Prayer Journal consists of 6 sections of journal prompts and areas for reflections for when you want to dig a little deeper and just take your thoughts to another level. Whether it takes you 6 weeks or 6 months to complete, I promise you will not regret it. Head on over to my website at www.feliciawallace.com and select the books tab to make your purchase. If you are ready to find your fears and slay them, go to www.feliciawallace.com, select books, and get your copy today. You're listening to the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast with Coach Felicia, where we empower Black women to overcome their doubts, fears, and insecurities in order to give birth to their God-given purpose. Join me and sometimes some of my friends on our journey as we remind you that you are not alone. I'm Felicia Wallace, and together we will find our fears and slay them. Welcome back to another episode of the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast. I am here with Rika Bunche from Mom Redefined. Hey, Rika, how are you?
Gorgeous. I am doing phenomenal. How are you?
I am better than amazing. I've been saying that because when I say it, I feel it. On top of the fact that my girl came out with a song called Amazing, Mary J. Blige is like, that is my boo. And she, just the fact that she continues to look as great as she does, as old as she is, she is ghost. Like
Right.
that is a side note. But when I think about that song.
Look, that's our new anthem anyway.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
She is. I know we celebrating even if it ain't our birthday. Okay. Like that is what's happening every single day. So I try to tell people like where I know people from or how I found them. Sometimes it's the Lord just put them on my spirit, but I actually been stalking you since one of your events. And I just been following what you do. And so I was like, okay, Lord, when it's time for me to reach out, because I'm obedient, that's what I'm going to do. You was on my pitch list. I sent it out and you said yes. And I was like, yes.
Yes. Look, I was honored. I was like, wait, hold on. Because I follow you too.
Oh, okay, then.
Yes, ma'am. So I was absolutely honored. I probably sent the response back in like 5 minutes because as soon as I saw it, I was like, hold on. Okay.
Well, that makes me feel good. Thank you.
Opportunity.
Yes, I just love what you're doing. One of the things that I've noticed from what just following you and specifically those events is that how the moms come back feeling from being surrounded by other moms and all that. And we'll talk about that later. But that I could feel that through my cell phone. Like I just knew that it was like, I said, oh, that's an experience that you got to be there in order to really, really know. So we will spare y'all. We'll give you all the details of what we're actually talking about later. But we're going to start with telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got started.
Okay. So I am Rika B. I am the founder of Mom Redefined. I have 2 children, Terrence and Deuce. Well, I'm sorry, Terrence, which is Deuce, and Taylor, which is B. One husband, Terrence, Big Terrence. I am a sister, daughter, friend, all of that. And so again, I'm the founder of Mom Redefined, as well as the founder of the Lounge by Mom Redefined and the Momming in Paradise and the Mom Conference and all things momming. That's my jam. Like I absolutely love moms because I understand pretty much everything that we fight to be a woman and a mom. Like, the balance that it takes to do both. And I love all things motherhood. So I've created a safe space for moms, as well as a place for mompreneurs to sell their products and services. That's where the lounge came from. And so
nice. And so I know you're located in North Carolina. Is it Charlotte?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh. Oh, okay. Oh, that's not too far from the DMV. Not too far.
No, listen, DMV. I absolutely love DC. I have a thing where we call it a get your life weekend. And now it's not even a weekend because life, like I can't
Right.
really go for a weekend. But I would go up for like maybe like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, stay in the hotel room, and I try to get a hotel room that has like a spa,
Hmm.
and I go downstairs, get a massage. But other than
Yes.
that, I'm locked into the room and I'm literally, it's my place to get my life. Like when
Yeah.
I'm playing something and I'm writing things out, just a change of scenery.
I love that.
I go to DC for that. Like
Oh,
that's
well, welcome. Okay,
yeah, but
welcome.
thank
Well,
you.
I'm a PG County girl all the way through and through, but that's right
Down the
over the
street.
line, right down the street. So it's not too far. But yeah, we have what's surprising to me, even as you said that, like I've been noticing a lot of people highlighting. Sometimes when you live somewhere, you don't really. I mean,
You
I
don't
live
see
here. why would I go stay at a hotel?
it.
Like
Right,
when I
right.
think about DC, and I'm like, I know I can drive back home. I'm fine. But when I see, I'm like, oh man, that is a nice place. I didn't even know they had that. So being,
Yeah.
like you say, to change of scenery, it could be as simple as going to a hotel and just using that time to like refocus and get, back on track. So I
Mhm.
definitely, that's what vacations be for, right? Like you go and you come back like a
Absolutely.
whole new person sometimes,
Yeah.
like a real
Most
vacation, not like,
times, but
yeah,
sometimes
not
come home needing a vacation from the vacation. But
child.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that's literally what it is. Especially the harbor. I will stay at the harbor
Oh
and
yeah.
just the views. Like, oh my God. See, now
Yeah.
I need to book a trip
See,
tomorrow.
look at
Look,
that. Look.
is it snowing this weekend? Can I come up tomorrow?
Maybe. Who knows? Right now, it's just up in the air at this point. So as when you started this, like, what was the purpose behind starting the like your mom movement, right? Because I feel like everything you said has been around, like you said, mompreneurs, like momming, all of those things. Like, what was your like the drive behind you starting all of these avenues for moms to be able to be a part of?
So to be honest, I had completely lost myself
Mm.
at the time. And so I've been married for almost 13 years, right? So
Congratulations.
we, thank you. And I had fertility issues,
Hmm.
infertility issues for, oh my God, years. Like we were trying for over 3 years. Like we just kept trying. I had miscarriages. It was really bad. And so when I finally had, matter of fact, we found out that I was pregnant with Deuce right before we had just decided to save the money for in vitro. Like we
Mm.
just decided that, if we want a child, this is what we're gonna have to do. And this is
Yeah.
so um anyway, when I found out that I was pregnant with Deuce and I actually, I gave birth to Deuce, oh, my life revolved around Deuce. It was, oh, I'll come as long as Deuce come. And then I
Right.
remember having a conversation with someone because they were like, no kids. And I'm like, how you gonna say no kids? Like, if my son can't come, then that means I can't come. So no, like literally, like it was a friend, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I can't come to your birthday dinner because like I have a child now. And I and I'm looking back like that was so ridiculous, but that's where I was because
Yeah.
I struggled so much like to actually have a successful pregnancy.
Hmm.
And when I did, everything revolved, the world stopped for my son.
Yeah.
Um, and Terrence, like I'm married, so Terrence was there. I would leave Terrence at home and take Deuce and go to dinner and go shopping and do everything else. And so eventually I ended up launching a t-shirt line called Childish. It was an international t-shirt brand. I actually gave the Instagram page to Deuce for
Oh,
Deuce's Playground because I started Childish because of Deuce. So even my first business was
was because of
revolved
him.
around
Yeah.
it was the kids' t-shirts with sayings like the curls get the girls. He had these cute little curls and um never ever go. Everything was around him.
Hmm.
And so one day we had just came back in and we were standing in the mirror and I looked, I had on a t-shirt, some leggings, and some Uggs. My son had on this polo cardigan with this button up from H&M up under it with some slim fit jeans and some fresh butter Tims. And he was with a fitted cap, like he was decked
And
out. And
he
I'm
was
over here like, looking looking like the help. Like what am I and I realized that that had become my life. Like even
Yeah.
at church, I remember looking back at pictures where I may put some heels on every now and again, but
Mm-hmm.
I still had on a t-shirt. And
Mm.
I knew that there were so many other moms that fell into that space where they forgot who they were. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't even no social life. There was no dressing up. Like there was no like returning to school. I dropped out of grad school. I was in grad school. So I actually dropped out of grad school when I found out that I was pregnant. Like, oh nope.
You ain't
Nothing
doing nothing.
else.
Everything got shut down.
Everything stops. And so everything that I planned on doing prior to giving birth, it stopped because of
Mm.
and I remember I got off. I remember telling my husband, I was like, "This is so." I broke down crying, and I'm like, "This is not who I was." Like I was definitely the dressy, I would dress
Yeah.
up and the latest shoes, and and no one understood because when I would kind of not necessarily complain, but when I would say something, everyone's like, "Well, y'all just bought this big house and you have the car and you got the business, so you have money and you have a nice job, like you in your own office." And but I'm trying to put all that together, like I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
manage
Mm-hmm.
that. And so again, like I lost myself and I created Mom Redefined. And it was a place where we could encourage moms to chase their kids and their dreams,
Yeah.
because you can do both of them. And that's how we started. Like it really, that my aha moment was when I looked in the mirror that one day, and I was so upset because I look crazy. We looked like we were going two different places, and we really looked like we were going to two different places, and that wasn't the case. I had just
Yeah.
put all of my focus on him and forgot about myself,
No.
and probably even my husband.
Yeah.
Like
Listen,
yeah,
it is very easy. Like when I know that feeling that you say, like when you kind of remove yourself, right? Everything is about them, and you're just kind of like, no, that they take priority. Everything that you have goes to them first.
yeah,
And yes, that is true. And at the same time, we should be able to take care of ourselves. But the thing that I've learned also in kind of my journey is it wasn't shown to us, right? It wasn't anything that we actually saw. We've always seen moms just like sacrifice themselves and
yep,
put themselves last. And so it seems normal to us that is the thing. Like even now in this my kids are old. They 14 and 12. So they,
right,
at this point, I'm trying to teach them how to cook all the meals. So
right,
you don't even need me
right.
anymore. Okay. Like, well, you about to start driving in about 2 years. Like this about to work out in my favor. Okay.
Absolutely. Ooh, I know you can't wait to send him to the
Listen,
store.
I,
Look.
I am ready for that moment. But there was a period of time where I had two kids under two. And I'm like, okay, this one in this arm, this one on this hip, this one, like, and
Mhm.
you're just going. And I would be like, there would be a part of me that was like, how is this mom able to do X, Y, Z when I feel like I don't have
I'm about to
now
lose
it's
it.
the illusion that I don't have no help, right?
Yep.
Because like you said, your
And your
husband is
husband
right
sitting right
there.
there. Listen.
You got people all around you, but somebody asks you, then you feel guilty for saying, do you mind watching them? Like you asking the person who helped you create this person, do they mind watching the person? Is that even a
Hello. Listen. But it's a real place. And we had this conversation, Terrence and I, not even an hour ago,
mm,
because we're going somewhere tomorrow. And his question was, "Oh, where's Zeus going?" I'm like, "He can come with us." And I snapped out of it real quick. And he was like, "Let's get a sitter." And I agreed. But usually,
yeah.
a sitter for my child? No. Like, no, this is my child. Outside of daycare, he's supposed to be with me.
Yes, yes. That is the thing that we feel like, no, it's okay. I'm gonna make accommodations. But I think that, like I said, even as we're learning, your kids need to see what those boundaries look like. Like now we're in a space where we're able to say, it's been happening, but I had to get to a place too to say to my husband, like, no, we need to have date night and we need to be able to tell them the same time, same way we spend time with you, we need to spend time together. And so now they know, like, you guys are going on a date. We show our
Yes,
bye,
yes.
like,
I mean, because I think we're so moms, we combine all of our hats, right? So
mm-hmm.
we just combine being a mom, a wife, a sister, like we combine everything, right?
Yes.
But we have to realize that we have to nurture all of our roles. So we have to nurture our marriage because you have
Mm-hmm.
a family, but then you also have a marriage.
Yeah.
And then you have womanhood. Like you have things that we need to do. And we
Facts.
forget about that because we bought all our stuff up and we just try to handle everything because that's what we're used to doing.
Even when you said that, the crazy part is that we bowl everything up, but the priority will always be mom, no matter what. Like that's what
All
we
the time.
choose first. It will always be mom.
Yeah.
So I'm as you were sharing that, I was just like, I'm sure that there's plenty of women who are listening now who are like, I've been there. I am there. I feel myself getting there. And we saying it's okay. Everybody has been there at some point in time. Some stay longer than others, but just as I say with everything else, even when we're in this next conversation, when we talk about self-doubt, it's okay to be there. You just can't stay
Mhm.
there. So
You just
that's
can't
what
stay there.
you gotta kind of move through it. So how has self-doubt showed up in your journey? If you've been listening to this podcast or following me on social media for a while and you're ready to start your journey to healing, or you're ready to confront your doubts and insecurities, there are 3 ways I can help. First, you can download the journal prompt from my website. Use this as a guide to get back on track with where God is calling you. Secondly, you can go to my website and purchase the Slaying Self-Doubt Prayer Journal. Using this prompt and journal will pull out where you are stuck on your journey. These questions will force you to dig deep and find your fears. Lastly, if you're ready to invest in your healing journey and work directly with me, book a 30-minute connection call with me today. This allows us to see if we are a good fit for each other. So head on over to my website, www.feliciawallace.com, to do one or all 3 of these. That's www.feliciawallace.com. Now, back to the show.
Oh my goodness. It shows up often because sometimes I don't realize, like, I'm not gonna say I don't feel like I'm worthy. It's like
Mm.
I don't. I think that's probably what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk myself out of things because I'm like, well, she has this amount of followers and I have this amount of followers, so they're not gonna respect me as much
Mm.
because of the numbers, or they're not gonna understand because I live in Raleigh and they live in New York or they live in
Mm.
California,
Mm-hmm.
and they it's really the comparison
Yeah.
plays a big role in things. And then I remember we chatted about it a little just briefly, but when I did the first Mama in Paradise, when I put the very first flyer out there, nobody responded. Like I put it on Facebook and I think a couple people liked it and whatever, but nobody registered. So I went to sleep. And the next day, I still didn't have any registration. So I'm like, they don't understand. I deleted it off my page. And I was just like, whatever. They don't understand it. Then that means that this isn't the time for me to do it.
Yeah.
I talked myself out of an amazing movement in less than 24 hours.
Mm.
And so I was having a conversation with someone else. I put it back out there like months later. I mean, 6, 7 months later.
Yeah.
Put it back out there. And that's when we went to Cancun and it was 30 of us. And I remember even then, I'm like, oh, it's only 30 people.
Mm.
I don't know if that's going to be enough. That was the start of something amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, and then now I look back and I'm like, look at how much further I could have been if I would have just kept it up there in the beginning. And so that's why a lot of times when I have these doubts, I try to always use a testimony from a time that I've overcome it
Mm-hmm.
to kind of just talk myself off of a ledge for a second because, girl, you did it this time. You can
Yes.
do it again. Every single thing that I hosted a momentum conference here. And in Raleigh, we didn't have a conference just for moms. Like we've
Mm.
never had anything like
Yeah.
that. And when I was talking about speakers and stuff, so I had Yandy Smith and Marietta Shaw as keynotes for
Yes.
the conference. And I remember when I was going, I'm like, I don't even know how to book a celebrity. Like, what am I supposed what am I supposed to do? Like, people gonna come. We had like, I think it was like 125, 150 people at the very first conference. And it was amazing. I'm
Yes.
still receiving testimonies from that. But I taught myself out of that as well. The first flyer, I never put any speakers or anything out there because I'm like, if I need to cancel it,
Oh,
I didn't put no money into it.
listen.
So I'm just saying, like, self-doubt is it's normal.
Yes.
And we just really have to be strategic about how to just overcome it. And my thing has been, like I said, using testimonies of how I've overcome things that I doubted myself for, like in the past, and
Yeah.
that has been what's worked for me. Like I doubt myself often because I'm from a small town. I don't know if you saw me post it recently, but I posted my brother. My sister-in-law. She's from I forgot St. Thomas. She's Caribbean,
Okay.
and my brother, he only listens to soca music now, and he has his little boxing gloves in the front, and I'm like, I want you to stop thinking that you from somewhere other than this dirt path in Robertsonville. Like, we grew up in a double wide trailer in Robertsonville, North Carolina, small town. It was 60 people in our graduating class. I mean, it's tiny. I'm like, no one knows me. Like, I'm from this really small town. And so
Mm.
um I don't I think a lot of times we still have that mindset where, well, I still have that mindset where I'm not supposed to have any of this. I'm not
Yes.
supposed to have the house, and I'm not supposed to know the people. My name isn't supposed to come up in these large rooms, and I'm not supposed to walk in these rooms confidently because I'm from Robertsonville.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know, like that's been my mindset here lately. I keep thinking like, how did I even get here?
Yeah. I actually was the first thing that you said was that, I don't know, maybe I don't feel worthy. And you like pause for a second. And I remember this I think it's a sermon I just recently watched that they were saying like um I can't remember who they was talking about. It was either Peter or Moses, one or the other. But it was saying how yes, it was Peter. They was talking about how he was saying he was afraid and also he wasn't worthy. And when, Jesus kind of like he affirmed him in his fear, not in his worthiness, because he's not
Right.
worthy, right?
Right.
God is, right? And so
Right.
because of
Right.
him, that's the reason why things happen. And so, a lot of times even when you said that, like, we use that as a thing like I'm not worthy to be able to do that because I know that feeling very well. Every single time I'm doing this thing or something comes up and somebody asks me, I'll be like, you want to talk to me? You want to come here? You want me to do that? Like, but I have to remind myself that I'm clear that I didn't even want to do this. This is not my this was not my
Hello.
plan.
How much
Okay.
money I spent on this stuff? Like, how many sleepless nights?
I
Listen,
had another plan and I'm like,
I
so
tell people my resume is lit. I will go back to corporate. Okay, I get it, girl. I'm here with you.
I'm like, this isn't what I wasn't, I did not select this. This was not a dream of mine. I was like, this is an assignment. And so because of that,
Mhm.
I'm not worthy. But every single time I continue to be obedient and I continue to show up, God shows me, yes, but I am. And so that I'm using you. And so even when you shared the testimony of like putting the flyer out for 24 hours and then taking it back, that's what we do. We've all anybody
Uh-huh.
who's ever been on this type of because you don't believe enough in yourself and if we're being honest in God that he will actually do what he say he will do,
Mhm.
because if it don't happen suddenly then we like, oh
It's
no,
like,
you
oh,
working on
no,
somebody
it
else
wasn't a
today,
good
huh?
idea. Yep, right.
Are you
I remember.
blessing somebody else right now? So I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna try again later. But when it does happen and when we just release that control and we are obedient, like you said, that 30 turned into 80, 80 turns into 100, and it just continues to grow. And you find yourself in a space of like, how did we get here? Like,
I just told my team that we have hosted over 200 moms from all over.
mm,
Like, I mean, we have people from one girl from Germany. That's our international
wow.
day. She met us in Cabo. We had someone from Canada met us in Cabo. But over 200 moms from all states, like different countries, have met us on these trips, and we've only had three. We have
Yes.
over 100 that have registered for our trip next month in DR, and I was getting ready to give up on it in 24 hours,
Mm,
all
mm.
because I doubted myself.
Oh, because you doubted yourself. And then the other thing you said is like running your track record back, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
that is running. I mean, when we run back the times that we've done, that's really looking at God's track record in our life and
absolutely.
saying, if you made that happen, there's no way. Because I can guarantee you there's been times I always tell myself, you've been in a place before where you did not see no way out. And it was a but God moment, and you like, and I'm here. So if this is
Yep.
less than that, because I know that time was quote unquote the
Listen,
worst time of my
the
life,
worst time. Yep.
right? And so it doesn't compare to this. So if he got me out of that, then this is light work,
It's
right?
real easy, right? And that's what I tell some of my clients. I'm like, listen, think about your worst day, the
Mm,
worst day of your life. How many times have you said that this is the worst day of your life? And I can assure you that it's been more than one time that you said that. But
facts.
every time that you said it was the worst day of your life, you woke up to a better day.
Yeah.
May not have been the next day, it may not have been the next week, but you made it through your all of your worst days.
Mm-hmm.
Every last worst day that you had, you made it through,
Yeah.
which means that you can make it through again. And I like how you said it's like pulling God's track record, because
Yeah.
sometimes we need receipts. You know how we say, oh, I got receipts today. Those are receipts we need to be pulling, the receipts of how we overcame doubt. And that's what we look a lot of times by God, because honey,
If it's
again,
up to us, we wouldn't even
it's
try it again.
easy for us to just say, all right, I'm telling you, I told Terrence, I'm like, I was a recruiting manager. I can look, my
Listen,
resume lit.
if
You
I need to
hiring.
go. And that's the thing, we play around, even when you say that, we play around with God. Like, well, if this don't work, I can always go back. Right. And so it's like we threatening the situation. And it's like, but no, you're not. Like, even in
So
I know I'm not, but I had this conversation with my husband often, and I'm just like, he like, you ain't going back to work. And I'll be like, you're right, I'm not. I'm just
no, but let me tell you what's funny. I tried, right? This is just a little funny off subject thing. I tried. I interviewed for this, and Terrence kept telling me, "Ain't nobody gonna hire you. They're gonna be like, you taking a day off again. You traveling for this. You doing that." I was like, "Listen, it's a remote position. They gonna understand, girl. Why they Google me? They don't Google me." And so I made it through the first interview. So then the second interview, when I was interviewed, it was like, "Well, it's like, I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to bring this up, but I noticed that you're doing like this, and this, and I want to actually tell my sister that she needs to join your movement. But how is that going to align with what we need from a
mm,
recruiting manager? Like, because this is a very hands-on position, and I'm like, girl, I'm sorry, I can't do it.
right. Never mind. Just know.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But I tried. But as soon as she Googled my name, so I went back and I Googled my name. I'm like, it ain't no way.
And listen, and but the fact that what you said, she Googled your name. How many people can say that? You know what I mean? Like, when you
Mm.
really think about that, it's like there are times, like the other day I was showing my friend something, and so I happened to type in, like, oh, so on like Google, on Google they have, like, you can create the Google business. And so I was like, well, I don't have like a physical site, but I went ahead and created it. And so when I was like, oh, let me show you. And so I showed it to her. She was like, do you see all the searches? Because I'm paying attention to this one thing. And
Right.
slaying self-doubt lit up like 4 pages. And it was all me.
Look
And I was
at
like, what the crap? And
you.
so she was like, do you see your this is stuff I don't even pay attention to. It
We
is
don't
not
think
even
about
on my
that.
radar. Like, I don't even, what does SEO even stand for? Like, I don't know. Like,
Right.
I was like, I don't even know how to create. All I did was continue to move forward. I just
Yeah.
continued to move in purpose and do whatever the next thing. And so now you can, I can tell that people type in self and my name comes up. Like,
Oh,
like
girl,
it
listen.
don't even have to be. You don't have to type in Felicia Wallace. You don't have to type in. You type in self doubt, slaying self doubt will show up. And so I'm just like, what the crap? Like,
Yeah.
what is happening? And like you
Yeah.
said, when you think about where you started, the doubt to even go forward in a situation, and how we that track record of how you show up, girl,
Mm-hmm.
you better not apply to not another job, okay? Because just
I
need to
can't.
remember they're gonna Google you.
It was funny though because I was like, oh, this job pay 100K and I'm gonna be here doing. My husband was like, girl, go sit down.
And they was like, ma'am, they have several seats. We just wasted
Right,
resources.
right. And so Terrence, a lot of people don't know this, but Terrence is actually a minister,
Oh,
and
okay.
mhm. And so he laughed with me. He'll laugh and joke with me when I be having these moments like, bro, I'm about to go. But then later he'll come back and he'll say, are you okay? Like, like it'll be a serious moment where he's
Yeah.
wondering, like, do you not think that you're enough? You don't think that you
Mm.
don't think that God is gonna continue providing for us? And I'm like, well, I was just playing, but you really trying to get me together. But he will really check me. So now I learn I can't even play with this man no more.
Yeah, you can't. And again, that just is, it's also proof of what God has already done, right?
Mhm.
Because we think that our plan is better, right? And he's proven, no, this is the path that you're on. This is, you are meant to impact these women. You are meant to do this. This is what you're supposed to do. If you derail from the plan, then what you're supposed to do will stop.
Yep.
And so that isn't even possible. So what have you learned about yourself on this journey that you didn't know before? Did you hear that ad at the beginning of the show? If you're a business owner looking to expand your reach, you can promote your company or product with a host read pre-roll or mid-roll ad by me on the Slang Self-Doubt podcast. If you want more information, email info@FeliciaWallace.com. That's info@FeliciaWallace.com. Now, back to the show.
I know that it's very cliche, but I think that I've learned that I'm strong. Like I've
Mm,
learned that I can do all things, even the hard things, the things that I didn't think I was capable of doing or
yeah.
handling, of creating. Um, I I just yeah, that's it. Like I've learned that I'm just strong. Like I've handled some stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
crazy stuff. And again, like back to the worst days, like even my bad days, I was strong enough to make it through that.
Yeah.
I lost my dad last year,
I'm
and
sorry.
that I remember even the feelings that I had, during that time. Like I'm done with all of this. Like I don't
Yeah.
even know how to restart. Like I don't know how to have a conversation with someone without crying. And I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
like it's hard days, girl,
Yeah.
hard days.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I made it through every last one of them. And I've learned that I have the power to encourage people with just by telling my story.
Yeah.
And, and none of it is to brag because I'm not that person at all.
Mm-hmm.
But and people know that. Like I think people understand that I'm
Yeah.
just not that person. But with one conversation, I can give someone all the momentum, emphasis on the mom,
Yes.
with the momentum that they need to move forward and to push through.
Yeah.
And I'm forever grateful for that because that's a gift. Like that's not a talent, it's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a God-given gift that people trust me with their heart, like their deepest
Yeah.
secret and their hardest moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful. Like I could never, like I'm just grateful for that. So
Yeah.
I'm strong, I can overcome, and because I can overcome, I can encourage you to overcome just as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because and when you were saying like going back and thinking about, your hardest moments and what it is that knowing that you have overcome those things, is not all just about being a mom, which you said before, right? Like
Absolutely.
a
Yeah.
lot of those things have to do with, how we show up as a woman, how we show up as a wife, as a daughter, as a sister. And when we get hit with all these different things, we're able to see our strength. I think there's a quote that says like, you don't know how strong you are until you have to be, or
We have to
something to
be.
that effect, or
Girl, listen.
we don't know that, but when we even when you say like I'm creative, right? There's a thing that I have my clients do sometimes is to I tell them you can text a person, call them, ask about 10 to 15 people to list 3 adjectives to describe you, and let that be what you stand on. I still have my list. I sent it to colleagues, coworkers, supervisors, all time, and I just wanted to see. And so when I have moments where I'm like, oh, I can't do this, I go look at that list, and somebody think I'm creative, someone thinks I'm focused, someone thinks I'm
Yes,
inspirational. And
that
so
is good.
because we don't realize how we show up a lot of times.
Right.
People will see you before you see yourself. And so
Oh,
when you
absolutely.
ask other people, like, what do you see? Then we're able to really, receive. With the other part is that you got to receive it. If you look at the list and then be like, no, that's not me, then I don't know what you're going to do, but you got to
Right.
be able to receive that. But recognizing that you are strong, cliche or not, that's the truth, because a lot of times we don't always feel it. So when the time comes that we are able to see that, like even in you talking about this, like I can discern people's spirits pretty well, so I can tell that like there's things that's hitting you that you're like, dang, I actually like this is
Girl,
real. Like I
as
am
I was
really
saying, I was
Rika
like,
B. Like that is who I am. I am Rika B. Like I have created this moment. This is me. Like, and sometimes we don't even realize like I'm literally living in a life or a dream that I couldn't have even imagined for myself.
when I started Mom Redefined almost 5 years ago. Now, again, when I started, out of the 5 years, 3.5 of them, it was almost like a side hustle because I
Mm-hmm.
was still working my full-time job. But I would have never imagined that we would reach so, and I say we because now I have a team. Hey, my little
Hey,
happy
hey,
dance.
hey.
Look. I would have never imagined that we would reach so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because there's so many things that I've taught myself out of because I really doubted myself. Like I
Yeah.
didn't think that I could handle the weight of something else being added to this assignment.
Mm, mm.
I just didn't think that I could handle it. And so as we were kind of preparing for the 5 year anniversary, I kept saying like I kept hearing God saying, but that's not enough.
Mm,
That's not enough.
mm,
So I ended, I put up a post and I was kind of telling my story. And I'm like, the last thing I put was, and we're not done yet.
mm.
Because God literally kept saying, it was almost like he was sitting there looking like, okay, that's cute, but
Yeah.
that ain't it, sis. So I, I, that's why I was so honored and so excited when I saw just slaying self doubt. I don't think you realize how when that comes over in the email, it's like almost like another affirmation. Like
Mm.
you must slay self doubt again. When I saw that, I'm like, I'm slaying self doubt
Yeah,
because that's
listen.
what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing.
Absolutely. Yes.
And yeah, I'm excited and I'm also nervous. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
scared to see where this goes because I've finally gotten to a place where I can say yes to it all. The
Oh,
crazy things, the things that I don't even see how this is gonna happen. Like I'm under contract for my next conference. Like I've already booked the hotel. We started booking speakers and all of that. I haven't even announced it yet.
oh, that is,
but I'm like, you told me to do this again, and the last time you made it happen, so I'm gonna do it.
yeah.
And that's just where we are. And I'm really like unapologetically not turning my back on it, not
Yes.
going back on my word. I said yes. I'm gonna do everything that he told me to do.
Yes. I love that. That right there has been, I felt that in my spirit because that was confirmation for me. Because this morning, literally in my devotional time, I said, I know I've been fighting this. I would do a little bit at a time and then take it on back, show a little leg and take it on back.
No,
Cause I
we
was just
gotta
like,
stop. We've
oh,
been taking
because
baby steps,
if
and
I
we
go
gotta
all the
stop. We
way
have babies.
in, because I know what will happen if I go, if I just go, I already know it. And it's like the same thing. Can you handle it? But this morning I said, here I am. And you know what the crazy part about the song that popped into my head? It was like this old gospel song. And it was like, I felt it in my spirit. Lord, I'm available to you. And I was just like, okay, I'm available. Like, use me. Like, that like this is what
Yeah.
I signed up for. If I didn't I wouldn't have said yes when you gave it to me in the first place. I would have just been like, no, I'm gonna stay here at this job because
Yes.
this is easy, this is comfortable. So I
And
feel that.
yeah. And honestly, and if you would have stayed, he would have pushed you out of the
Oh
way.
yeah,
Like
child. I would have been gone because then
I've
COVID
I've
came and
been there. I don't know if you saw my testimony because I just had my anniversary of being I had never been fired from a job, so I'm actually still a little upset about that because how you fire me? Like
because he said it was time to go and you was taking too long.
I have screenshots from the text messages where I sent I posted on Facebook that day and I'm like, I just can't keep doing this. Like I'm tired, so. And I text my first lady, my pastor, and my husband in the group chat, and I was like, y'all just pray for me because I just feel like I'm just not doing what God told me to do.
Mm.
And I'm just tired. And so my first lady responded, and I always give her credit for this because it was so powerful. But she was like, you will be full, you will be full of faith. No, you'll be full of fear until you decide to be full of faith or something.
Mm.
And so
Mm.
I'm like, wait, what you mean? And so not even 10 minutes later, the lady called me in the office and fired me because I didn't send an email checking in that morning. It was
That is
it
the
was
dumb.
crazy,
But
but
listen,
I was being belittled the entire, like I was working on a conference and I remember when the news station reached out and they wanted to, do a little coverage on it. She was like, well, who you know that work at the news station? Like how they found you? And it was things like that. Like, I
mm,
don't pay you that much. I'll Google Yandy Smith. Like, how did you afford to pay Yandy? I don't pay you that much. What did you say your husband does again? Like, if y'all doing
if
some
you
type of,
don't mind,
like, literally, like, this is what I went through on this job. Yeah, girl, it was crazy. And
oh, but even in that moment, I was just thinking. So, like right now, I was thinking to myself, the things that we put up with because
girl,
we don't trust enough in ourselves, right? Like when it runs back in that mind, you're like, I stayed there for that. Like you lied straight
for
to my
what?
face. You like I watched the conniving happen, and I still
Yeah,
said I'ma stay. And
I'm
so
gonna
now, when I
say,
think back, I be like, I can't do that again. That'll never. I could never. That is not in me. It will not. It'll. But that's how you know when God starts pointing out little things to you in that
yep.
season of your life. Like it'll be certain things that you'll be like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. I remember when I left and I did my exit interview, and they kept saying, "Well, where are you going?" And I said, "Home." And they was like, do you live here? Like you? I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm born and raised here." But what are
Right,
you going to do? I was like, spend time with my husband and my kids. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like, but what's
right.
your next
I'm just
move?
done.
I was just like, whatever God says to do, I don't know. And
Yeah, I'm
6 months
done.
later, the entire world shuts down.
See what I'm saying?
I was like, and then if I've seen people recently, you still at home? Sure am.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
that's what
Like
you're supposed to be.
whatever's going to happen after this will. So we talked a little bit about it. Let's talk about Mom Redefined. All the things you already mentioned that you have something coming up. Let's tell the people about it. How can they get involved? All of those things.
Yes, so we have a lot of fun moments coming up. One thing is our Moment in Paradise. So our next Moment in Paradise is March 17th through 20th. We're actually taking over Dominican Republic. So
Hey.
we're going to the car. I'm excited. Our speakers and panelists, like
Yes.
phenomenal. I'm so excited. This time we did it a little different. We have a panel specifically for motherhood, all things
Mm.
motherhood. And then we have another panel for our mompreneurs. So every speaker is in a different area. So from
Oh,
marketing
nice.
to building business credit and, someone in the beauty industry and like all of these things. I'm so excited. And that's, look, I almost gave up on this because it didn't work in 24 hours. And now it's grown into something so beautiful. I'm
Yes.
thankful. And then in April, we have the Momentum Conference. We took technically 2 years off because of COVID.
Yeah.
We had restrictions here. And so finally we're bringing it
Child.
back and it's in person. I listen, I'm
The
over.
restrictions up here. Okay, listen,
Yeah.
I don't know from day to day which ones I cross this line. What's okay over here? What?
What we do, right.
Listen, the way
I
being in
am
this
so
DMV area, I'd be like, what? I feel like I'm in a matrix.
right. I am when I tell you over it, but and I wanted to do virtual, but I love like the energy and the vibes that we have at these events. You can't capture that over the
Yeah,
screen. Like, we could try and we could try, but it's nothing like in person.
yeah,
So that's why we're bringing it back in person. So that's
yes.
April 30th through May 1st. So we're actually ending with a tea party. So obviously it's a little different twist on the
That's
brunches. So we're
cute.
doing a tea party. So I'm excited about that. But the Moments in Paradise, we have those in March and October of every single year. So if you miss out on March, make sure you follow us at Mom Redefined. And all of our moments are there. We call our moments moments because it's
Yes,
on the moms.
I love that.
Yeah. So the Momentum Conference is coming up in Moment in Paradise.
Yes, and so then you also mentioned the lounge. So that's local to
Yes.
Raleigh, North Carolina,
It's in
right?
Raleigh for
Okay,
now. Raleigh is our only location for now. So
I know
um,
that for now.
for now, we're not done. But and we technically have two. So my husband opened a similar concept called the Stadium in the
Nice.
same
Oh yeah,
mall.
yes, I have
So yeah,
seen that.
yep.
Yes.
So we have two stores in the mall here in Raleigh, in CrabTree
Come on
Valley
now.
Mall, and so collectively we have over 50 Black small for now brands in the malls, and the whole focus behind it is to not even not only they're able to have their items in a store like in a
Mm-hmm.
driving mall without the overhead costs. They only pay $250. Like our spaces start at $250 a month.
What?
So and that includes everything: bags, taxes, the employees. So you literally bring your items in, you sell it, you get a payout every month for whatever you sell,
That
and
is
that's
that is
it. So
so
that's what the
awesome.
lounge
This
is.
is that listen. So even when you're talking about that, so is that available? Because I know somebody probably gonna ask. Because so I'm gonna go ahead and ask. Is that available to anybody, or like if you can get
Oh yeah.
down there? Oh, so it's not
Oh yeah.
just
So we
just
have
for Raleigh. Okay.
like Alina Smith with Mom Strength.
Mm-hmm.
She's in Atlanta and her items are in the mall in the
Oh
store. So yeah,
man,
as long as you can ship them there or you drop them off, yeah, absolutely.
that is so
My we have
awesome.
HBCU, I forgot, rated HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
She's not local, but she ships her items there and we set them up and
Oh man, that is so. Listen, I already know because there's a lot of people in the DMV that we do pop. We are known for we'll do a pop up shop around here, and you see people
uh,
going. But Rika just said she got a whole store that you could just put your stuff
listen,
in there.
a
You
whole
know,
entire floor.
it,
Yep. And it's only $250 a month. So
that's a blessing. Like I just want to. I have one of the things that when God gave me this, it was like an opportunity to give people their flowers right here, right now, and
yeah.
because this lives on the podcast forever. So like. I just want to thank you for what you're doing because what you are creating will set up moms like in the long run to be able to really see that they can do more than just be stuck in that mom space of like, oh, I can't do anything else. I'm just this for this moment. And being able to have these moments and the Moms in Paradise and Mom Redefined and all of these different things. Just thank you for being obedient and saying yes and getting fired. Like there was a reason why you ain't send that.
Listen, I know. And it was crazy. Oh, and I said it wrong too. She said you will be full of frustration until you decide to be full of faith. That's
Ooh.
what the lie was. So that's even
That's a
better,
word right there.
right?
That
Right.
is a
Yeah,
word
that's
right
what she
there.
said. But yeah, I'm glad I got fired. I'm glad I'm not on the job. I'm still a little mad that I got
Right.
fired. Girl, I didn't even do anything. I felt like my son. I didn't even do anything. But when she told me I was fired, I just left right then.
Yeah. Well, that's because you knew you was done with it anyway. So it was just like,
Yeah.
thank you. I don't have to go through the process, but that's how
Right.
God to happen suddenly, right? Like the doors
Suddenly.
open and you'll just and until you're in a suddenly moment, you don't really even understand what it means or what it feels like. And this is I'm glad that you've been doing this. I thank you for coming on the show, sharing your story. How can people find you? Where can people get signed up to be a part of the moments?
Yep. Thank you. So I'm on Instagram at Mom Redefined. And at Mom Redefined, all of my moments will be posted there. In our bio, I have like the links to the lounge and to Mom
Mm-hmm.
Paradise. But if you go to Mom Redefined, you'll find everything, every single moment that you
Yes.
there.
Well, y'all already know everything will be in the show notes. I'll make sure I put out the flyer so y'all can get to if y'all gonna get that. That's my husband's birthday weekend, so I'm gonna have to go with him. I'm gonna have to stick beside
Oh,
him.
but that's in October. You know, cool. You have to come in October.
Yes, October for sure. But I will make sure I put that out there so y'all can get connected. Thank you so much, Rika. I appreciate you and
Thank you.
continue to do what you're doing, sis.
No, you continue to encourage us all to slay self-doubt
I
because
will.
that's the first step to something amazing. As long as we
Yes.
get over that doubt, we're good. So
Yes, I
thank you.
received that. Thank you are welcome. Thank you. Thank you for that. I've received that.
You are welcome.
All right, y'all, that's all for this week. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to share, subscribe, rate, and review. Remember to head over to Facebook and Instagram and follow me at Slaying Self Doubt. Oh, wait, don't forget, go to my YouTube channel and watch this episode, and remember to press the subscribe button. Until next week, see ya.